Hey guys, hi, it is Dr. Craig, your chiropractor in Ottawa, who is the man about town and country. And I'm just talking about steam radiators. These are my beautiful, sorry, that's quite an ugly fan. These are my beautiful steam radiators dating back to 1911. I've just walked in because I closed the valves. This is my practice downstairs. I live upstairs, so this is my chiropractic place. I live upstairs. And I walked in, there's a big nasty hissing, much more than just the bullet. So this is the bullet there. Underneath I've got a steam valve. Now you can see the nut right underneath it. You can see the original taps. These are wood, they're turned wood. The original taps there. And then underneath you've got the thing. Now I'm pretty certain I have packed this with there you go, so you can hear as I'm tightening up on that. So in there is the gland packing, all right? Now I've shown this on other videos. If I didn't post them on the channel yet, I will do a bit later. I'll put together a series about my steam radiators. So in there is packing. So you basically undo, if when I tighten this up, it won't go down any further and there's still a ton of steam coming out of the top. You can see how wet that steam is as well. So what's happened is because I have closed the valve to these radiators, the steam has collapsed, turned into water here. The water is actually being forced back, probably under some pressure from the remaining steam, and is actually forced out through the valve there because the bottom part of the valve, the actual stop is engaged down there. When I turn the valve, it lifts that stop up, allows the steam and the water to go down. As it is, the steam is condensed, the water's trapped here, and you've got the water coming up, forcing through the gland packing, which I've recently repacked this, so it just obviously needs a little bit of time to settle down. And keep your adjustable around when you've done that. If you want to know how to pack a gland, I will make sure that I have put the information in a playlist. I'll put all this stuff in a playlist together. Anyway, I trust that's been of some use to you. That is one way to look at a steam leak. Now, the other steam sounds you can hear steam coming out of this thing. And that is 100% meant to do it if it's coming out of the top. And it's normally a fairly gentle steam hiss. And what will happen periodically, this area here, which is filled with an alcohol-filled bulb, that alcohol expands, it forces the bulb to close. So you'll hear that switching off. Sometimes you hear like a little tick, tick, and that's just as it gets to the size that it's big enough to close, and then I guess the steam behind it just forces it in the last little bit and it makes a little tick. So that's where you are meant to have a steam coming out, because this isn't a closed system where no steam gets out, it's semi-closed. Now the bullet winds into the radiator there. There shouldn't be any steam leaking out of there. Usually use a bit of plumber's tape there on the thread and that should close that. Sometimes if it's been going on for a while, if these radiators are as old as mine and there's been some abuse and some cross threading, then the threads here are shot. So I'm not sure what the solution is in that case. I mean, you can cut new threads, but whether you can get a bullet valve with a larger thread there, I'm not sure. I'm sure you get some sort of adapter. I don't know what that is. You'll have to research that. So that's the places you can have a leak. You can actually have a leak here, you know, in one of my, maybe even this one, there's one of my valves at the back. So the top is the gland packing, okay? This big nut here, which is actually, can be really dodgy to get off. The only thing I've got big enough to go around there is an adjustable spanner, but sometimes it starts to round that off, so you've got to be careful. But the deal is that when you crack that open, you've got a plunger here. At the end of the plunger, there is a round disc of graphite, if it's original. Now, I've replaced a lot of my graphite discs to silicone washers. I think I had to fit 2 or 3 silicone washers, which I bought the diameter to fit in the kind of plunger basket that moves up and down. There's basically a frame that moves up and down. I don't know how to describe it. It's just where the disc of graphite sat, and that graphite disc was bolted kind of like this setup with a large washer and a screw. And then when you screw it down, it just firmly seats. Now we have silicone washers that will do a similar thing. I don't know, I can't, well, the graphite washer was there for 100 years. I am pretty damn sure that the silicone washers won't be there for 100 years. But anyway, they do for now because I can't get hold of graphite washers. And then you've got to be careful of these leaks up here because they're really easy to fix, but if you don't sort them out, then you sort of get water damage down here. All right, what else? No, that's about it really. So this bottom, that's what I was going to say, this bottom part of the body of the valve, if this isn't tightened up, you sometimes get steam coming through that joint there. And indeed, this season I did in one of my valves. I think it was this one, but I just put some, just wound down on it. Just got my, obviously make sure my adjustable was as tight as I can to the flanges of that hexagonal nut shape. Because I can't get a ring spanner over there, because if you take this off, underneath there's a disc of metal which is welded onto the stem, so you can't get a ring spanner over it to get it over there, which is really a pain because I would like that. If any of you guys know of any tools you could use, put it down in the comments. I would super appreciate that. Okay, so my name's Dr. Craig. I hope that's been of some use, and yeah, just put some comments down below. Like, subscribe. I was going to do this live, but I don't have enough subscribers. I need to get 50, so if you guys would oblige, if you're enjoying it, subscribe, and then I can actually do some live videos as well. It'll be much easier for me, and you guys will have it straight away. All right, thanks. Bye.